Now, my precious listeners, come sit with me for a good, long while. This one is going to take us deep into the heart through joy, tears, years of quiet sacrifice, and the kind of pain that only family can bring. Brew a strong cup of tea, wrap yourself in a blanket, and let Auntie tell you the full, unbroken story. We're calling this one, I Raised My Sister's Daughter as My Own. But when she came back after 20 years, the truth nearly destroyed us. Patricia and Harper was born in 1965 in a small mill town in North Carolina. The kind of place where everybody knew everybody and porch lights stayed on late. She was the older sister by 5 years, always the steady one, the one teachers praised for being mature beyond her years. Her little sister, Lorraine Marie, came along in 1970 like a firecracker, loud, bright, impossible to ignore. Their mama worked double shifts at the textile plant, and their daddy drove a delivery truck. So Patricia learned early how to keep a house running. She cooked supper at 12, braided Lorraine's hair, checked homework, and tucked her in with stories she made up on the spot. Lorraine adored her big sister, followed her everywhere like a shadow. Patty, when I grow up, I'm gonna be just like you, she'd say. Patricia would smile and think, no, baby, you're going to shine brighter than me. But life has its own plans. By the time Patricia was 25, she had married William Hayes, the gentle history teacher at the local high school. William had kind brown eyes, a soft voice, and a way of making Patricia feel safe in a world that sometimes felt too big. They bought a little blue house with white shutters on Maple Street, planted azaleas in the front yard, and started trying for a baby right away. Month after month, nothing. Doctors, tests, prayers, tears in the bathroom with the door locked. Finally, a specialist in Charlotte delivered the news. Patricia would never carry a child. The words landed like a stone in still water. William held her that night while she cried until there were no tears left. We'll adopt, he whispered. We'll find our baby. But adoption in the early 90s was expensive, slow, and heartbreakingly uncertain for a teacher and a part-time nurse. Meanwhile, Lorraine was living a completely different life. At 19, she fell hard for a guitar player named Jesse who blew into town with a band playing county fairs. He had long hair, a leather jacket, and promises that sparkled like stars. Lorraine ran off with him, sending postcards from Nashville, Atlanta, New Orleans. Patricia worried every day, but Lorraine sounded happy. Free. Then came the phone call in April 1992. Patty, I'm pregnant. Lorraine's voice was small, terrified. Jesse left 2 weeks ago, said he wasn't ready to be tied down. I'm living in a motel. I got no money, no insurance. I can't do this. Patricia didn't hesitate. Come home, baby girl. We'll figure it out together. Lorraine arrived on a Greyhound bus, 7 months pregnant, thin everywhere except her belly, eyes red from crying. Patricia made up the guest room, cooked her favorite meals, rubbed her swollen feet every night. William drove her to every doctor appointment, held her hand during ultrasounds. When the social worker asked about plans, Lorraine looked at Patricia with pleading eyes. I can't raise her, Patty. I'm not like you. I'd ruin her life. Then, quieter. Would you? Would you take her? Raise her as yours? I'll sign whatever papers you need." Patricia's heart stopped and started again all at once. She looked at William. He was already nodding, tears in his eyes. And so, on August 14, 1992, Rose Elizabeth Hayes was born in the county hospital. Patricia was in the delivery room, cutting the cord herself. Lorraine held the baby once, kissed her tiny forehead, whispered, "I'm sorry, little one," and then turned her face to the wall. The next day, she signed the papers relinquishing all rights. The birth certificate listed Patricia Ann Hayes and William Thomas Hayes as parents. As far as the law was concerned, Rose was theirs. Lorraine left town 3 weeks later. She said she needed a fresh start. Patricia hugged her tight on the bus platform and promised, "You can come back anytime." Lorraine never looked back. In the rearview mirror, those early years with Rose were pure magic. She had Lorraine's dark curls, but William's calm eyes. Patricia sang her to sleep every night with "You Are My Sunshine." William built a crib with his own hands. They took her to church on Sundays, to the county fair, to the beach every summer. Rose's first word was "Mama," looking straight at Patricia. Her first steps were toward William's open arms. They told Rose early on that she was adopted. God picked us special for each other, but never hid the love. Rose never asked questions. Why would she? She had everything she needed. Lorraine sent birthday cards the first few years, always postmarked from different cities. Then they slowed. By the time Rose was 10, they stopped altogether. Patricia kept everyone in a showbox under her bed, just in case. William taught Rose how to read using old National Geographic magazines. Patricia taught her to bake cornbread and sew buttons. They coached her soccer team, cheered at dance recitals, cried together when the family dog died. Rose grew tall and kind, with a laugh that lit up rooms. In 2008, when Rose was 16, William had a massive heart attack in his classroom. He was gone before the ambulance arrived. Patricia and Rose clung to each other at the funeral, two widows in the same house. Rose graduated high school the next year, wearing William's old college ring on a chain around her neck. College came. Rose studied nursing, just like Patricia once had. She met a sweet boy named Nathan in her junior year, a carpenter with steady hands and a quiet faith. They married in 2017 in the same little church where Patricia and William had wed. Patricia walked Rose down the aisle, both of them crying happy tears. In March 2018, little Liam was born red-faced, perfect, with Rose's curls. Patricia retired from the clinic to help full-time. She was there for every feeding, every milestone. Liam's first word was "Nana." Life felt whole again. Then came the Facebook message. Rose was 26. One ordinary Tuesday, she opened Messenger and saw a note from a girl named Emily. "Hi. This might sound crazy, but I think we're half-sisters. My mom is Lorraine Harper." She says she had a daughter in 1992 who was adopted by her sister. "Is your mom's name Patricia?" Rose's hands shook as she read it. She called Emily. They talked for hours. Photos were exchanged. The resemblance was undeniable. That night, Rose confronted Patricia. "Mom, is Lorraine my real mother? The one who gave birth to me?" Patricia's heart cracked open. She had always planned to tell Rose everything when the time felt right. but the time never had. She nodded slowly. Yes, sweetheart, she is. But I've been your mother every day since the moment you took your first breath. Rose's face crumpled. You lied to me. All these years. You let me believe. Why didn't you tell me? The fight was terrible. Words flew like knives. Rose packed bags for herself and Liam and moved into a short-term rental. She blocked Patricia's number. For the first time in 26 years, Patricia's house was silent. Lorraine flew in from Charlotte the next week, successful now, married to a lawyer, driving a luxury SUV, wearing clothes Patricia couldn't pronounce. She took Rose and Liam shopping, to fancy restaurants, on a weekend trip to the mountains. Rose sent Patricia photos sometimes, captioned with short updates, but never called. Patricia didn't sleep. She sat in Rose's old bedroom, touching the faded growth chart on the doorframe. She prayed every night, Lord, bring my girl home. Months passed. Lorraine's visits became less frequent. Work demands, her own children's activities. Rose started noticing little things. Lorraine didn't know that Rose hated mushrooms, or that she was allergic to strawberries. She didn't remember the lullaby Patricia sang when Rose had nightmares. She called Liam by the wrong nickname. One night in November, Rose called Patricia at 2 a.m., sobbing, Mom, Nana, I miss you. I'm so confused. She's nice. She tries. But she's not you. Patricia drove over immediately. They sat on the tiny apartment couch, Liam asleep in the next room, and talked until dawn. Rose cried about feeling torn in two. Patricia cried about the fear of losing her forever. They held each other like they had the night William died. Slowly, painfully, they rebuilt. Rose moved back home the next spring. Lorraine came for Christmas that year. It was awkward, everyone tiptoeing around words like mom and daughter. Lorraine brought expensive gifts, but Patricia made William's favorite pecan pie, and Liam ran straight to her lap over coffee in the kitchen while Rose put Liam down for a nap. Lorraine finally broke. Patty, I was so selfish back then. I ran because I was scared, and I stayed gone because I was ashamed. You gave her everything I couldn't. I don't deserve to be called her mother. I want to know her, if she'll let me. Patricia reached across the table and took her sister's hand the first time they'd touched in decades. She's got room for both of us, Lori. We'll figure it out, one day at a time. And they did. Emily and her brother came to visit the next summer. The cousins played together like they'd known each other forever. Rose started calling Lorraine Mama Lori sometimes, and Patricia Mom or Nana, depending on the moment. Liam called both women Nana, and no one corrected him. Years went by. Rose had another baby, a little girl named Willow Grace, after William's mother. Patricia was in the delivery room again, cutting another cord. Lorraine flew in for the birth, stayed a week, and helped with midnight feedings without being asked. On Willow's first birthday, the whole family gathered in the backyard of the little blue house on Maple Street. Lorraine gave a toast with trembling hands. To Patricia, the strongest, most loving woman I've ever known. You didn't just raise my daughter, you saved her. And you saved me too, even if it took me 30 years to see it. Rose stood up next, holding Willow on her hip. I used to think family was only blood, but I know better now. Family is the woman who rocked me when I was sick, who taught me to drive, who held my hand when dad died and when my babies were born. Family is choosing to stay. Mom Patricia, you chose me every single day. I love you more than words. Patricia couldn't speak through the tears. She just opened her arms, and Rose walked into them, the way she had when she was 2, and 5, and 15, and 20-6. My dear listeners, this long journey through one family's heart teaches us the deepest truths. Motherhood is not the 9 months of carrying. It's the lifetime of showing up. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It's choosing love anyway. Family is not only who you're born to, it's who stays when the storm comes. It's who chooses you back. And real love can stretch wide enough to hold more than one mother, more than one truth, more than one broken heart made whole. Cherish the ones who stayed. Forgive the ones who left, if you can, and never, ever doubt that the love you give comes back to you, multiplied, in ways you never imagined. Rest your heart now, my loves. Auntie is sending you all the warmest hug. You are seen, you are cherished, you are loved beyond measure. Good night.